It is now 31 years since over 5,000 men in Wajir County were rounded up, some tortured, while others were brutally murdered, allegedly by security officers in what is now known as the Wagalla massacre. Last year, as the residents in the county marked their 30th anniversary, a monument was put up bearing the names of the victims of the massacre. This was a sign of hope for many of them who for years had hoped to be compensated by the government. Today, the monument is no more, after it was taken down due to land rows, and the victims are yet to be compensated, taking them back to status quo. Here is a recap of the story of hope of the victims of the Wagalla massacre had anticipated. "493 kilometers northeast of Nairobi is Wajir town, the home of the beasts of burden. Probably the only mammals comfortable in dry and cold deserts. The locals are quite welcoming and they believe that they are Kenya's neighboring country. But a deep look into the eyes of some of them, you see misery, suffering and pain that runs deep. Our guide Salat takes us to the backbone of Wajir's troubles. 30 kilometers, the harsh terrain can only be handled by the toughest of vehicles. 30 minutes later at our destination, we are met by hundreds of livestock trekking across bare tracts of what was once an airstrip. On these grounds, 30 years ago, security officers under orders from unknown persons rounded up all the men in Wajir town, brought them here at this local airstrip and shot them in cold blood. Those who survived later died due to the temperatures and hunger. The very, very lucky ones, like 50-year-old Omar Mohammed, who was 20 years then, survived. The only thing that kept him alive was urine.
Kila mtu anamwambia kojolea hapa kwa mkono. Alafu anakunywa mkojo ya watu. Kila mtu anakojolea ule mwingine na kunywa.
But this was after hours of torture from the security officers.
Kwa haraka, kwa sababu mimi nilisema mara ya mwisho nilijua ya kwamba mtu kuweka kwa jua na asiondoke. Ile mchanga yenyewe inachoma watu. Jua kama hii sasa, watu wanalala. Na ukianza kusinzia kidogo unapigwa.
And like most of the others, Omar was lucky that his captors did not beat him up to his impotence. And he was able to bear 8 children, but even so, his health has since been wanting, making him unable to play the father figure that he had dreamed of. We leave him enjoying his bites of his daily dose of mirah. A few kilometers away, we meet Nur Hassan. He had just walked for a whole day to bring his livestock to the well. He cannot speak Swahili, and so our guide Salat intervenes.
ماشي حاجة كوانجل أنا ما قل لكن بعدين أنك مالي لا أنا سو أروري لو عيل كان أنك شبه عدتك حاجة رصاص عيلوفر.
The following morning, all the households are left empty, streets deserted, and all roads lead to the town center. Hundreds of mothers, children, grandmothers, grandfathers, generations of victims of the Wagalla massacre assemble with signs of their outcry. And after prayers, they are ready to listen to their leaders.
You have the ear of your elected leaders in the National Assembly. We trust that they have heard. I think one of the questions that we must continue to ask ourselves as Kenyans is what we intend to do with the truth.
It is a dark part of our history as a country, as a county, and as a people. And I want to urge Parliament, I want to urge the government at national level not to mutilate the TJRC report. The very purpose of setting up TJRC was to heal this nation.
A monument marking 30 years since the unfortunate incident, is unveiled, bearing 480 names of the over 3,000 traceable victims. Some of the locals still curious whether their next of kin's names were captured. Even after the Wagalla massacre monument has been unveiled, residents continue to hope that justice will be served and that the persons behind the killings will face the consequences of their actions. Ian Wafula, KTN.